Hi, everybody. How are you?
Hi.
Hi, Nason. Hi, Marisol. So good to have you in the breakout session for Building Better Cities here at SheEO. I wish we were there in person, but
Oh,
this is as close as we're going to get. So, but still, so excited to be here. Happy International Women's Day to everybody. Looking forward to hosting this session. And let's get right in. This is about building better cities, of course, and wanted to welcome Nason, Marisol. I'm Winona Satcher, CEO and founder of Maker Studio here in Atlanta, Georgia. Maker Studio is a green manufacturing and design build company. We specialize in modular shipping container real estate. Which, of course, housing, as we know, has a lot to do with cities, rural, urban, of course, indigenous communities. So looking forward to learning more from our panelists. I'd love for Nason and Marisol, of course, you know, we've pitched 1,000 times about our company, so that's the easy part. But to please share what you do in your company, also as a fellow sister venture. So Nason and Marisol, take it away.
Go ahead, Nathan.
hi. Can you see/hear me?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you so much for this. It's so amazing. My second year at a SheEO event. I feel so honored to be amongst sisters and like-minded people. So yeah, my company is called CANN Forecast, and we leverage machine learning and I would say data analytics, basically, for municipalities to do better water management. So we have two products. One of them is called IntelliSwim, which is the product with which we actually started. And it came from the fact that in a lot of big cities in Canada, and specifically Montreal, where I live, the sewer system and the stormwater system are the same. They're combined. So at some point when it rains too much, because they cannot afford to overload the wastewater treatment system, some of the contaminated water is going to go straight into the St. Lawrence River. And that's where people swim, people kayak, people fish. And so we started working with the city of Montreal on a better way to predict when the water was going to be contaminated before people actually got into the water and got sick. That's how we started. And so this solution is now, I would say, in pretty much the biggest cities in Quebec. And thanks to the city of Montreal, we also addressed the issue of aging infrastructure. This is so water infrastructure is very old, decades, sometimes 100-year plus. Mm-hmm. And they're starting to break all over the place, and cities don't have enough budget to replace them like they should. So we're now working with 15 cities across majorly Eastern Canada to help them identify through artificial intelligence which pipes they should replace before they break and which pipes they can afford to leave in the ground for another 10 years.
That's awesome, Nason. Talk about a scalable and replicable model that is so needed, especially here in the United States. Our infrastructure is old and crumbling, especially in Flint, Michigan. When you're talking about water crisis, it's really sad, and really is no. There's no reason not to have safe, clean water. It's totally unacceptable. So thank you so much for what you do with as far as our infrastructure in both Canada, but also definitely needed in the United States. Marisol, I'd love for you to hear more about your company and the impact that you wish to create.
Yes, thank you very much. I'm really happy to be here. So Marisol Labrec, I'm the CEO of Technology EcoFix. Technology EcoFix is specialized in biological wastewater treatment. So we're going to discuss a lot of water today. We have developed a modular system that allows municipalities and industry to increase the treatment capacity of their existing treatment plant without building a new infrastructure. Our models are installed directly in the existing facility, and I like to say we give a second life to wastewater treatment plant. Our solutions are 20 to 60% cheaper than conventional solution on the market, and after the installation, our model reduces the municipality energy consumption and avoid new GHG emission. The technology is patented, and we have complete project in Canada, Morocco, and Benin. And we also became the first B Corp company in water treatment in Canada in 2018.
Yay! That's awesome, Marisol. So that's great. And we're talking about both, I've heard energy consumption. We're also talking about wastewater treatment, data analytics, the physical building of spaces and public spaces. I do want to give a shout out. I just saw in the chat, welcome to Jillian, Safe in the Cities. She is one of the newest UK ventures. I was on that announcement, so congratulations to Jillian. So another infrastructure and data analytics company built and founded by a woman. Yay! So International Women's Day again. So one of the questions I do want to ask, though, to Neysan and Marisol about your work, and of course mine as well, is what's one of the most pressing issues or problems in your industry? I know for me at Maker Studio, for us here in Atlanta, Georgia, United States, it is the affordable housing crisis. And it's not just about who we built for, people who need access to housing and affordable housing, because we know everything starts at home, but it's also about having the safe infrastructure needed to be to have an equitable space to live, to have safe water, to have infrastructure that takes care of our waste impact. But it's about having access to equitable access to inclusivity and having that voice at the table when it comes to infrastructure. So what, in your mind, Neysan and Marisol, as far as your company work you do, is a pressing issue and problem with that we hope that your work is solving and will continue to solve?
Well, I think, Neysan, you mentioned that, but the population growth and aging facilities are two important factors, putting a lot of pressure on city and wastewater treatment plant. But I think even more importantly, climate change are accelerating the pressure on water resources. In some country, treating wastewater to reuse that, it's no longer a choice, it's an obligation. Then for a solution must be found, implemented to make sure the reuse is possible and it's safely.
That's great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Neysan, you feel the same?
Yeah, I completely agree with Marisol. So now we have climate change, and it's just going to exacerbate whatever problems we had before. And when I like to compare a city's infrastructure to your cardiovascular system, right? It has to bring the nutrients to every part of your body. And if you don't have inclusivity, it means that some parts of your body don't have access to the nutrients that they need. And as I really admire what Marisol does, because she has an international also factor to what she does. She's not only in Canada, she's also in other parts of the world, in Africa. And we know that these water problems are going to be exacerbated where it's already difficult to get access to water. And you mentioned, Winona, with Flint, Michigan, the problem that, if you have lead and some don't have access, this is going to be a problem. I think also one of the reasons why people don't necessarily hear about infrastructure, though it's very important. Again, it's like your blood vessels, you don't see them, so you only know.
You're right. Yeah, no, you're right. You don't see them until something happens, right? Until you get sick and something gets clogged. By that time, is over. And what I like to say is that the work that we do, not just myself, but Neysan and Marisol, is that we're moving towards what I call prosilient communities, right? And so resilience usually talks about something after the fact. So after, you have your heart attack, right? Or after there's been a major storm and then our whole power grid is out, or after there's lead and we have kids that are they're lead poisoning, and generations of inequities and access to lack of access to water. What we're doing is saying we've learned from the past. Let's take these problems and see them as solutions so that we have a bigger and better society for all. And so to me, that's being more proactive and prosilient, and so excited to see women at the front line of that, because we're naturally community builders, right? Like that's what we do. Now we need to have the funds and resources to scale that impact. And so happy to hear, Neysan, you're in 15 cities. Marisol, you're international. I am right behind you. So I can't wait to see how what we do, though, physically impacts the communities, but also impacts policy. So Neysan, I love your analogy of the cardiovascular system. And I also see that in a way, what we're doing is providing an opportunity for medicine, for new policies to be initiated, so that our jobs are not that difficult in the future. One of the other questions with that being said, and we talk about energy consumption, it's also a conversation, like you said, around climate change, as well as how we eliminate waste, whether it's energy. And in my industries, you're looking at globally, construction and manufacturing, 39% carbon energy related emissions in what we do, totally unacceptable. So we have to think about how we redevelop and redesign and build our communities to be safe, not just the infrastructure in homes, but also the materials that we build with. Like that has to be safe as well. And we all know that. So another question I have for you, what are the opportunities do you think to change or have a bigger impact with your work for both yourself as the business owner, but also as just for the consumers as well? I mean, we've kind of already touched on that, but where do you really see the solutions and opportunities in the glass half full for the work that you're doing?
I think by their choice and by choosing green technology to meet their need, municipalities, city have a chance to have a real impact on several aspects. First of all, by protecting river, ocean, and lakes, and also on the population, offering them a safe place to live. And on the local economy, by choosing innovative solution and companies such as EcoFix and any other venture in the SheEO network, the municipality have a huge impact. They can do that.
Nice.
Yeah. I completely agree. I don't have much to add to this one.
Loaded question. But it's hard. I mean, what we do is hard, right? I mean, it's not.
Yeah.
This is a problem, and luckily we're here to solve it. In fact, I want to amplify a question from the chat. That's interesting. How can we? See, this is really more specific and detailed, but it's a great question. And how can what we do help communities in Canada, Indigenous communities with boil water advisories? And this is a question that, is scalable across just the globe, but specifically for Indigenous populations. Work Marisol and Nason, how can we help facilitate that, or any ideas around that?
Yeah, that's definitely something that has been on our minds for a while at CANN Forecast. And the thing is, for us to be able to work, we need a lot of data to have been accumulated. And we're searching, actually, this is going to be an ask, really, for any company, any SheEO venture or activator that has either that produces sensors or that knows people who produce sensors cheaply, of course, to get in touch with us, because that's the thing. If we work with the community and they don't have the data, then we cannot do any data analytics, because we don't have anything to work with. And that's been something that's been on my mind for a long time. How do we make sure that the people who need it the most have access to these resources?
Exactly.
And if I may, I thank you very much for the person who asked the question about First Nation. On our side, I will be specific also about technology EcoFix. We develop a specific solution for that segment of the market with the BioFix system. The system is really easy to use, really easy to implement, and we target northern community and Indigenous and non-Indigenous community with this system. And actually, I think what we need actually is to make sure that people know about the technology. So it's really hard to go through the process with a new technology in municipality, and even if I think we have a really great solution for those community. We have to talk about it, and we thank you very much to SheEO to give that a little bit of spotlight to make sure that people know about our technology.
Yeah, that's awesome, because both of you ladies have helped me to transition into the next question, but also an ask for you, which is, or actually more of a recommendation. Please put your asks in the chat, Nason and Marisol, as well as, and not just ask for you, but like you said, Marisol, what we need help with to engage more communities, and Nason, to get the data that we need to help municipalities help us with that. One of the things that I've learned in this work is that 98% of the work that we do not the technology, not even what we love to do as far as the infrastructure. It's the community engagement. And is it possible that all three of us and all of the other amazing ventures and activators in SheEO, that we become that middle piece that connects the high growth in the government, local government, to the some of the marginalized, indigenous, Black and brown, LGBTQ those communities that are considered marginalized and voiceless, but do have a voice. We just need that catalyst, us, to be able to connect the two at the same table. And so that's why it's critical as women that we provide that leadership. And so aside from the asks of getting the data, having other activators and everyone in the community who is here in the chat room to help us get the data that we need to be successful, what else do we need? Well, I know I need more funding. That's just more funding and more amplification, which is what SheEO is here to do in a very innovative way. What else do we need, though, Nason and Marisol? And of course, we just heard about data. What do you need as women founders in the SheEO community and business and globally impactful business owners to make what you do even larger, even more touchable and reachable for everyone else? How can we help?
Well, maybe it's a big wish, but I think we must urge our decision maker to make courageous choice that focus on long term, on common good, and fight against climate change.
Yes. I agree. I think it's a lot of, you said it, funding. Everybody needs funding.
I'm not afraid to say that anymore.
But then again, also because what we do with cities, I think people have, and I put myself in the same situation, we've come to accept the situation, how our infrastructure works, how things have been happening for the past decade. As this is the norm, there is no hope to try to change it. And if we wanted to change it, how would it be different? How would it be better? And I think just raising awareness around the fact that, we could have better infrastructure, remote communities could have access, actually. It's just, there is this possibility. It's just that, and I was told about a mayor who said in Canada that water infrastructure issues won't get you elected, but if you screw up, they will get you out of the office. So,
yep.
That's the thing. It's because it's not necessarily infrastructure. It's not necessarily sexy as a topic for.
Wastewater is not sexy at all.
Yeah, it's not. No, right. You'd be amazed. Housing honestly isn't sexy, even though they say that's what we need. But it's not sexy though. Like it's not this golden object that and it's not quick. Real change isn't quick. And I think we live in this what I call microwave society, where you push a button and everything's just supposed to happen. That's not how it works. It didn't take overnight to happen. It's not going to take overnight to change it. But we can start now. And you're right. It's not a golden object. In our eyes it is, but in the political world it's not. I used to work in local government and I only lasted 4.5 years for a reason. But what I learned is, how can you best align what your solutions are to the tax base, to making money? And it's so sad that this is the system. And I think I know SheEO was saying we cannot keep doing that until that system is changed or a new system. It's almost like that's the golden piece of it. Like, how do you make it to where it shows the data and the money? Oh, okay, now we know it can make a difference, even though socially we already knew that. And so I think, from what I'm hearing in Nason and Marisol and just reading comments in the chat, it's really about understanding these are multidimensional problems. We can't keep putting one-dimensional solutions to it because they're not solutions. It's going to take conversations around housing and wastewater reclamation and clean water and community engagement and policing. And the arts and engineering. All these things matter when it comes to building pro-resilient and resilient communities. And so I'm so happy to meet you and speak to you about these challenges, but our solutions to solve the problem. I did see in the chat one other question was to make sure that we can write in the chat now, but make sure we put on the Ask and Give platform for all three of us exactly what kind of funding are we trying to raise. So I can tell you, for me, we're in an angel round right now, raising funding so we can scale and ramp up our operations. I'd love to hear, Neysan, Marisol, your funding needs. Where are you in that? What series are you raising? How can the wonderful people in this chat room, women and men, help us with that? Help you with that? What exactly where are you in your fundraising space right now?
We are in a round right now, our first Series A round, $1.6 million. Well, we're looking for a safe. Well, actually, it's a straightforward ask you, but yeah, we're actually right on it. So, yeah.
Yeah, great. Good luck.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So yeah, on our end, we've been completely bootstrapped since the beginning, plus SheEO's help. And now it's just a matter of how do we move to the next level. I saw in the chat it was written non-dilutive versus dilutive. I mean, of course, non-dilutive for sure is going to be preferred, but we don't mind being diluted. It's just we don't want to go down the road of aggressive venture capital. That's a little scary to us. And specifically when working with municipalities, it's a long, it takes a long time to sell and to the market. And
yes.
It's a bit scary, to know that you have 7 years for an exit to do a 10x. I mean, there's not something that we can guarantee to anybody, to be completely honest.
Yeah, and same here. In all full transparency, we would definitely want to grow, and we know the world needs us. We are the change that we want to see, but we want to grow smartly. And VC money really isn't really in our space. We don't seem to align with a lot of our values, and so we are also in Angel Round looking for bringing on some equity partners to help us move forward. So, if there aren't any other questions, in the chat, I just want to say I'm so excited to meet you, Neysan, Marisol, and Sisters, Venture Sisters.
Very much,
and just so proud of what you're doing. It's so needed. It's so inspiring. I don't know what else to say. Plus, globally, to see the tangible impact that we're creating. Entrepreneurship isn't easy, but it's so worth it. Totally understand, Neysan. And to finally build it and see it and now scale it and know that you only do this because you want to solve it, be the solution, and because you have a good heart. I mean, that matters. Your stories matter. And so proud that we are all on this journey together. Yeah. Any way that I can be of help here in the United States, let me know. Same. I'm all in as the two of you. And just so excited to have you.
And maybe we can ask people on the chat who we don't answer the question. They can reach both of us, through the three of us on LinkedIn. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yes. LinkedIn, social media, they did put our information in the chat. So thank you, SheEO. You're on it. As always, I don't know how they do it. They're awesome. But love all of you ladies. Thank you, Neysan and Marisol, for what you do and for who you are. Really appreciate
you. Thank you, Anna, for this.
Happy International Women's Day. Thank you.
Happy Women's Day.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.